Hi, everyone. It's nice to see you again. Yeah, I'm still around. I've mostly just been streaming and all that. But I figured, what's an easier way to come back on, do some more vlogging stuff? There's some other little things I still want to edit. I was literally writing the script here, but I'm going to need some more time on that. For now, I recently went to a Nintendo Live event. What was it called? Nintendo Live 2024, Sydney. I figured this was one of the things I wanted to talk about, so let's discuss it. Let's talk about it like some peoples. I don't have too many notes about it. I'm just gonna talk about it off the cuff. This was an event that happened roughly, I think, 3 weeks ago, and there's a little bit of controversy in regards to this event. This is an event that was held in Australia, and it was a free event. It was advertised by Nintendo, and you couldn't just rock up to the event, though. You needed an invitation. It to me at least, it reminded me of when Sony had to give you the privilege, the right to be able to buy their console back in the day. I think that was only around the PS5 era. I don't know if they ever did that for the PS4, but anyway, I digress. So, in order to be a part of this event, you had to try and sign up for it. You had to sign up for it through your Nintendo account. And there were various ways to do it. Some people were a bit worried, thinking, oh, well, if I sign up via my Nintendo family account, does that mean my friends can get in, blah, blah, blah. There was all sorts of questions around this. And some people didn't bother, because they thought, well, I'm not going to get in anyway. Some people thought, well, if I'm going to do it, all my friends should do it, blah, blah, blah. I signed up on a whim. Didn't really care whether I got it or not. And I got in. I got an email saying, blah, 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 congratulations, you're one of the people. Feel free to confirm and pick your date, because you could only go for one of the 2 days. There was a Saturday and a Sunday. Blah, blah, blah. This kind of annoyed some people, because a lot of them were like, well, why can't I just pay to get in? I want to come. I'm a Nintendo fan. Why are you just picking random people? And then there was that whole some controversy there going around. Are they actually picking people randomly? And I don't have any proof of one way or the other, but in my opinion, they were picking people randomly, because I have never had any personal sponsorships from Nintendo. I've never done anything big for Nintendo themselves. And one of my friends who works as a game store manager that does lots of things for Nintendo and helps promote them and other companies and charity events and stuff like that, they didn't get an invitation. So that's my lack of evidence. But either way, I mainly wanted to make this video as a personal thing, because I had a lot of friends asking me about it. How was the event? How was it? And I feel like some of them aren't believing me when I say that it really wasn't that big of a deal. You did not miss out on much, if anything at all. I'm not saying the event was crap. It was not bad. It was good. It was a nice event. It was a nice free event. Take that as you will, but I mean that quite literally. It was a nice free event. If you spent money for something like this, I feel like you would walk away disappointed. If you just were invited and you went, then yeah, no, I think it was a neat little thing. And I think it was kind of a smart, from a company's perspective, I think it was a smart strategy. From a consumer's perspective, I was expecting more, and I would have liked more in the future if they do these things. But that's just me being a cheeky consumer. You should always demand more from your games and all that, but that's my opinion. Anyway, that's enough backstory. The trip itself was a nightmare, because it was in the city, and I suck traveling into places like Sydney and the city and all that jazz. I like to stay off elsewhere. Hell no. No. Give me the meadow. I'll take that. Or middle of nowhere. Thank you. I'll live in whoop whoop. Thanks. It's all right. I'll be a hermit one day, I'm sure. Anyway, I went there, parking up, nightmare, walk up. They seem to have streamlined it fairly well, in my opinion, but there was a lot of arguments in regards to that. Because in order to even get in, you had to basically also sign up for this, like, pipeline pass, I think they called it. You didn't have to, but essentially, if you did, you show up at the time registered. So, for example, I mentioned 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, I will be there. So then I show up at 12, and you go into kind of like a more streamlined line, and you get in faster. And they're doing all these little things, and it's... I've been to all sorts of conventions. I've been to conventions in different states, and little ones, more indie conventions and all that. And this one seemed more pre-planned. Like they had some experts working on it. It wasn't the best, but it felt like it was very much thought through. Even when you were in the line, they were kind of like trying to keep you entertained. They had like little goodie bags on the table ready for everyone. I'll show you what was in the goodie bag soon. Other than that, I will quickly tell you what else was going on. You're in the line, blah, blah. I digress. Sorry, I always digress. And then you go in. You go in, they give you this bag, and then they just let you loose. That's it, really. What, you need more? Okay, fine. I'll show you the booklet. Look how long we're going to be here. Look at this nice little brochure. They give you this. I'll try to remember to take a scan of this so you can actually see it better and more thoroughly, because I'm sure this is not very nice to see me flipping this around all over the place. But Nintendo Convention, at the particular site itself, and that's why I stressed for a free event it was okay, but for a paid one it was kind of bad, because this particular site, it has various floors. I think it's 3 or 4 floors, and the building itself is absolutely massive. Like, it even stretches over to different other kinds of buildings and facilities. You could run several things. Are you trying to bloody call me while I'm trying to record something? Go away! Okay, I'll call you back later. But right now, no. Anyway, back to this. You could have held enormous conventions there, and they have. If anyone's been to the event called PAX, at least Melbourne's PAX, think of a building that size. That place is so massive, that convention, is so big that they hold it in several buildings. But this one, it was on one floor, and this is the whole floor plan. That's it. To some, like who are not used to a convention, this might be like, oh yeah, that's pretty big, that's pretty good. And for, again, a free convention, it is pretty good. For a paid convention, not really, no. Unless it's like, you know, like you go on to like a normal coinky-dink sort of little fair, like a $20 fair, something like that. You just want to go get an ice cream, jump around on the little teacup ride with the kiddies, woohoo, and then leave after like an hour because you're bored. But yeah, that's kind of what it was. It was a small event. A lot of people I noticed who weren't invited were just kind of hanging out in costumes and taking pictures. That's when I bumped into a gentleman. I'm going to see if I can get his name up really quick. We hit it off really quick, and how many times can I say quick? And he didn't ask me to shout him out in this video, but I did want to link his Instagram in the description, which I will. He is Healing Light Photography, and he took some nice pictures of me when I was dressed as the Bob-omb King, because I wanted to try and cosplay there and take it seriously, because I didn't know what kind of convention this was. They didn't really give out much information about what kind of thing it was. Like, all that they really mentioned is that Charles Martinet was going to be there. Sorry if I said his name wrong. That's basically the voice actor for Mario. And some other guests, but that was the main one. And not really much else. Upon arrival, and again, I'll try to scan this so you can look at this later, but mainly you have the entrance hall, which is this massive chunkawoony right here, That's where you're all lining up and just faking about. Then you've got the actual stage where they do a bunch of announcements and things like that. It was mainly just playing the same 5 to 10 clips again and again and again for advertisements. But yeah, they did have some other things on, like funny little Let's Plays and stuff like that of the guests. And all these other little spots here, these colorful little spots, aside from this one at the corner, which I'll get back to, were photo sites, not photo booths, but just photo sites. You could go there, and some of them, they would allow you to play the game, but most of them were just sites where you could take pictures. Like, there's an Animal Crossing one, there was an Animal Crossing house. You could take pictures there with the mascots. A Mario one, a Kirby one. I want to take a picture with Kirby! But everyone wanted to take a picture with Kirby, so I didn't get a chance to do that. But anyway, and near the end of the day, if you were patient and waited approximately an hour and a half, to Charles's credit, he smashed him out really quick. So, to his credit, there were so many people lined up, so no offense to him at all, but like, that was mainly one of the big highlights there, in my opinion. You were going to just kind of go for the scenery, to take a couple little cutesy pictures of statues and stuff that were there. You couldn't really get too close neither because they had the banners up and stuff like that. I get it. Some people are cheeky. It kind of sucks, but yeah. And to get a picture with Charles and, get a quick little 5-second, "Hi, nice to see you. Thank you so much. All right, have a good one. See you in the next Mario game." And that was it, really. Their main kicker that they had for the event, which wasn't really up my alley, was this little corner thing right here, again, as mentioned. And that was the My Nintendo store. Guess what they did there? And how I realized how they were making all their money, essentially. It was essentially a big, giant advertisement, which is no surprise. I feel like no one should be surprised. And I wasn't. But I didn't realize that, wow, like, they really tried to streamline that store, which is good, but that store was crazy popular at the event. I mean, it kind of makes sense because there wasn't too much else to do, because there wasn't any, like, indie booths and stuff like that. I think that's what me and a lot of other cosplayers were expecting. We're expecting other people to be collaborating or, like, to at least be able to buy some space there, so then there'd be more stuff to do. But whatever. I didn't run the event, and I don't know how it works. But anyway, they did that, and they sold gangbusters there because there was lines upon lines. You'd have to line up to get a ticket to be given the privilege to line up, to then get into the proper line, to then start shopping, to then get into another line, to then be able to purchase your things, to then get out of that line, to go back to the main entrance, to then jump into a line there, to then pick up your things, so then you can try to make your way out and go home. That's if you were just solely there to buy swag. And by swag, I didn't get too much information on what they were selling, but it was mostly just like amiibos and plushies and things like that. Mostly things that you could get online, but they just tried to make it more convenient for you to get there. But they did have some exclusive stuff. A friend tried to show me some pictures and send me some pictures, but they didn't quite come out very well. I'm sorry about that. Thank you to my friend for sending them to me. And it was mostly just jerseys and stuff like that I saw was mainly exclusives. I wasn't really that interested, honestly. But yeah, I've kind of slowed down on the whole collecting thing, unless it's something that I really very much enjoy. But gift ideas, anyway, I'm digressing again. Overall, though, the event itself was pretty good. I'm gonna keep talking while I show off the goodies now. This, I don't really think this counts as a goodie, but I'm just gonna tease you. This is the little bracelet thing that they give you. It's one of those felt ones where they put that plastic doohickey on your arm and you can't get it off unless you crush it. I prefer these, though, because at least you can keep it. It's just a cutesy little thing. Anyway, this is the baggie that you get. The cutesy little baggie. It's like a little fabric bag that you can use to shop around and stuff. I still see people using these. So it's fairly good quality. At the last convention I went to this weekend, last weekend, I saw some people there using it. And it's good. It's good. It does what it does. All the items here was pretty much what they were advertising. And a little bit more, but other than that, yeah. It was just a bit of an advertisement thing, and it did its trick. They got a lot of people buying stuff from this store. I think at one point near the end of the day, they were saying, we are sold out, or we can't get any more people because the line is so big. It's just, you're not going to get from point A to point B before we have to close. And a lot of the stuff in this bag, as you're going to see, is just promoting a lot of their older games. They weren't really announcing anything. It was just, hey, these are some games that we have that you might not have already played yet. Would you like some swag, or would you like to buy the games and stuff? So yeah, I'm not saying that's a terrible thing. Again, for a free event, that's fine. If it was a paid thing, yeah, a bit more iffy. But, alright, let's do this. I saw people, this is just a big, sticker promoting the little platinum coins that they use. I saw some people walking around that they were just slapping people with them and popping them on. We got probably one of my favorite things, I mean, there's not too much in the bag, was the stickers, because I've been playing around with resin and putting things in resin, so I feel like I could totally do that with the Kirby stuff here, and the little Pikmin and the Splatoon. That was probably one of their biggest things at the panel, was the Splatoon. The Splatoon area, again, I should have taken some footage, I'm sorry. I did take some pictures of the photographer because he took pictures of me. That is the curse of being a photographer. You don't get pictures of yourself. So I felt I wanted to do that for him. And we connected and all that. Again, that's why I wanted to shout him out. But anyway, he said I can do whatever I want with the pictures, so I've probably posted them up by now on the little vid. But despite that, I wanted to give him a shout out. What do we got here? This is kind of boring, so we'll show this. This is the little... I probably could keep this sealed, but... Get it! If I can actually open it. Well, that was a weird way to open it. But there we go. I didn't need this because you had the little bracelet. But this is just the little tag that they gave me. And I was like, do I need to wear this? It's like, you've got the bracelet. I'm like, sure, cool, I'm going to do that. Because I was in a costume. I didn't really want it to get in the way. So that's that. And we've got... Sorry, my screen keeps going dim. We've got this little handy-dandy gold coin. Wait, does that say 2026? It's got like little icons of... I'll zoom in here so you can see it a bit better. It's got little icons of all the little guys featured at the event. I thought it was 2026. That would have been a weird typo. Yeah, there's your little fancy-dancy coin. You know, like, it's cute. A lot of the items were cute. Nothing to really write home about, except for these wonderful pins. I'm expecting to see these go online. But these, to me, these were like, this is some good swag, you know. As a collector, I like pins. I feel like you can do a lot with this kind of stuff. And the stickers. I thought the stickers were pretty neat too. But they were cool. I think that's about it though, swag-wise. Like, it's enough to... For a little free event, you come in, they give you this bag. They're like, oh, that bag's look cool. Pins, stickers, little cutesy little pass, little coin, sorry. Little coin, that's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. I feel like that's enough as a free event. If you paid, and then that's all you got, and then all you could really do is take pictures, then it'd be a bit of a bummer. The fact that Charles was there was a good plus. The other thing that I personally got, because I tried to get as much as I could, some of my mates were there, so I got pictures with them. I'm not going to show them for the sake of privacy and all that, even though a lot of them said it was okay. I just want to be polite to them. I had already gotten this signed in the past, but I took my little friend here on a journey. And I had him signed several years ago by Mr. Charles. The wonderful man, if I can show it on the camera. The wonderful man, of course, didn't realize that my name had 2 T's and I didn't have the heart to correct him. Not that he could really do anything, but he just kind of smothered it in his signature and stuff everywhere. So I thought, well, I'm going to dress as Bob-omb King and I'm going to take it with me just in case. So then that way, and whenever they do these quick photos as well, 9 times out of 10, they'll always just use your phone. So I'm like, nah. I took my camera that I'm using right now. So I'm like, nah, take this please, use this. And like, yeah, sure. And the way that I run my pictures, again, I'll see what I do in the editing table here, but the way that I run my camera is you can just hold the button down and it'll just snap like 100 pictures. So then that way, it reduces the chance of you having just one crappy photo, and sometimes they can be a little cheeky. They'll just only take one photo and they won't really look at it. So that way I got a bunch of photos with him, and I was able to just kind of nitpick and take the one that I wanted. Not that they deleted any, but you get what I mean. That was essentially the highlight. There wasn't really too much. I'll bring the thing back out. But if you don't believe me, thinking, oh, dude, that was a whole day. It must have been so many activities and things to do. Like, it felt like there was a lot to do because there was a lot of people in a small space. But to their credit, they were pretty good at, like, trying to filter people out and put them into different places at different times. Being like, okay, at this time, Pikachu's gonna be standing here. Go get a picture of Pikachu. At this time, Kirby's gonna be standing here. Get a picture with them. And because I heard a lot of people talking shit about the way that they were handling people. And for a small free event, I thought it was pretty good. It was still very busy, but I felt like there was a bunch of spaces that you could just, oh God, I need a minute, that you could just sit down and rest. How many conventions have some of us been to where, like, have we been to where there is nowhere to sit? Or because of the management of people, like, getting in and getting out of the building, there's always these horrible choke points. And places like the Nintendo store, yeah, that was a horrible choke point. But in saying that, it could have been way worse because they were clever enough to try and come up with these, like, different spots, like a line before the line and stuff like that. Not that I would love to line up for a line. That's why I didn't do it at all. I'm not lining up so I can go pay for things. Like, if it was something absolutely amazing, then sure. Like getting a picture with Charles, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's a fun little memento I can take home, and that's not something... I could just buy half the things that they had at the Nintendo store online. Sure, I'll pay a little bit more. Whatever. Okay, I'm paying for convenience. That's okay. They're paying for convenience with their time. I'll pay for convenience with my money. But anyway, I digress. Sorry. This is the schedule. Again, I'll try to scan this later. I might have already shown it. But it's half this page for the schedule for each day. It wasn't too much. Just going off it here, there's a Mario Kart tournament. And then 3 hours later, there is a Q&A with Charles and Celia Pacchiola. Sorry, my speech is really terrible today. And Super Smash Bros. Tournament, 3 hours from then. That is the official stuff on the brochure. And then the following day is like just 3 things. It's a tournament, another Q&A, and a tournament. And that was about it. Other than that, they just had some little photo ops sprinkled in throughout the day. And they were just giving you heads up on when you could buy stuff at the store. Other than that, that's it. But it was a nice event. I hope they do it again. And I hope that... I don't know if they should necessarily make it a paid thing. But nevertheless, I had fun. Would I go back? Yeah. Am I going to hate the trip there? Yeah. Because I don't like going into cities. But that's not their fault. I'm not going to blame them for that. I would like more swag. Keep up the swag. I feel like that should be mandatory at events. That was one thing, though, that I thought lacked. They needed to encourage people to go to all of these different places. There was like a cutesy little Pokemon museum somewhere. I don't remember which place it was. I think I'm guessing it must have been here somewhere. And there was photo ops and stuff, cutesy little, and you could play these games and stuff. But there was no incentive. Events like PAX and stuff like that, these really big ones, they want you to come in. They want you to play this stuff, or they want you to go everywhere. So they'll invent like little scavenger hunts, or they'll have little contests. Be like, hey, like if you get a picture with Pikachu and his friends, you go into the draw to win a pin, even if it's just something little. Or like, hey, if you come here and play our game for 10 minutes, you get a sticker or something. Like, I'm not saying do a whole lot, and I'm not saying I would go crazy for that, but I was just going around and asking, like, hey, like, is there any incentive? Like, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're just kind of managing the statues to just make sure nobody touches them. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, but we can take your picture with him. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. But there's not really too much incentive. It was just like a big photo op area, a glorified store, and some really cool gaming celebrities. So there's a little bit, but not much. That's why I say, for a free event, it was alright. I think I've waffled on enough. I think this has gone on for around 20 minutes, so maybe more, so I'm sorry. I'm going to be doing more soon. I hope my mates now are convinced that it wasn't that too big of a deal. Unless you're a big tournament fan, I guess. They did have a massive looking, like, Super Smash Brothers looking trophy that I saw. But I wasn't too bothered about watching it. I already know that I'm nowhere near that good. And I think you already had to have pre-signed up. But anyway, I'm digressing. I don't know too much about the tournament era, tournament stuff. Goodbye, peeps. I'll be putting out more soon. Have a good one. Take care. Farewell. I hope you enjoyed the Nintendo event, those who went, and for those who didn't, you didn't miss much. But I hope it comes back. Ta-ta, peeps. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hi. Thanks for watching. Feel free to follow me on YouTube or the bell, whatever the hell you do there. I also have Twitter if you want to see more updates, or my Discord. We also do game nights at the Discord as well, usually 10 a.m. Sydney Australian time, that sort of thing. I also stream on Twitch. That's also roughly 10 a.m. Sydney Australian time. That's Fridays, usually for streaming, and the weekend, usually for gaming. And other than that, I've got my Humble links, my Green Man Gaming affiliate links, if you want some nice deals on some video games. And also thank you to my lovely patrons, which I will show along the walls here. And thank you. Have a nice one. Bye.
Today's the day the teddy bears have appeared.